Chris, do you remember the Spanish flu? Were you there?
Haha, Alexa. I might be older than you, but yes, I know about it.
We weren't there.
I was not there, no.
Good, because it sounded terrible. For those who don't know, in 1918, over the course of a year, right off the heels of the Great War, because the lost generation just really could not catch a break. The deadliest pandemic of human history ripped through the world, and they called it the Spanish flu, but it actually most likely originated in America. But the whole reason it's even called the Spanish flu is because Spain was one of the only countries that was being honest about their infection numbers and how bad they were. And a lot of other countries were repressing them because right off the heels of the war, they didn't want to look weak in front of their enemies. But Spain was neutral, so they didn't care. And it made it look like Spain was this huge epicenter, but everywhere was a huge epicenter. And doctors knew this. They knew this flu is incredibly contagious. And this did actually also include media manipulation. There was a massive rally in 1918 in Philadelphia when the medical community and the city's public health director was like, hey, don't go to a rally, you'll get sick and die. And editors of the newspapers refused to publish it. 12,000 people died of the flu due to this super spreader event. So, all this to say, I'm so glad that we learned our lesson. And I see no parallels at all between back then and in recent history, even a little
Can't
bit.
think of a single
Anyway,
similar thing.
no, no. We learned our lesson. Anyway, I'm here again with Nina Vereshchagin and Diane Zur, our experts on false information. We're in the first chapter of your textbook on navigating disinformation, which is, once again, your free guide to learn about how to stop spreading misinformation yourself and how to identify disinformation. You talk about the history of disinformation because none of this is new. And when you look back, this tool, disinformation as a tool, has been used in much the exact same way throughout history. Uh, so why though discuss history in the first place?
I'm going to very badly paraphrase the same, but it's like if you don't know history, you're bound to repeat it. Um, as we've seen, disinformation has been around forever. Especially, I think the thing that's happened most often in the past that we could easily identify as propaganda, but we see those same things happening even today. It's like it's human nature, right? If we disparage someone else, then it makes us look better. But we've always known that you can't believe everything, right? You have to bring some critical thinking to the situation.
What are the biggest differences now in the internet age compared to what people had in an old school classic disinformation campaign?
There's 10 billion times more of it.
There was a time where you could see it was obvious if it was misinformation or disinformation because it wasn't that good. But now with AI and other tech supports, you can make things look really good. Like deepfake videos often look as good as real video, so it's harder to tell the difference. But I think the tool, just taking your time and thinking about things and critically thinking about them and asking questions, I think that would serve anyone at any point in history.
And so you, Diane, are comparing like the early internet age to now when you're talking about it getting more sophisticated. I would also make the argument that like pre-internet, it would have been harder for people to identify false information and find evidence against it. For the same reason that people are able to create it, people are now able to refute it because we have so much information at our fingertips. Whereas back in, the Roman times or the medieval times or whatever, it was just the whoever was in charge sort of told you what was true and you believed it or you didn't. There wasn't really much you could do.
I think also the whole idea of repetition where you tell a lie enough times, it can just seem true because it's in the conversation so much. And that's been true throughout history as well. The internet just like turned that up to, a million miles an hour. So I guess it's the same tactic, isn't it? Is to try to slow it down. And, the old saying, don't believe everything you read, is definitely a pre-internet. And so is that same tactic, I guess, slow down, think think about what you've read.
I think it's probably like confirmation bias. Once you know it exists, you can see it happening. But that's the key is like you need to know it exists, right? So if you keep hearing something over and over, even if you know it's not true, it starts to sound true. And I don't know if there's an easy way to get around it.
I have a question for Nina. Is disinformation always necessarily bad?
Disinformation is always bad because disinformation is the attempt to manipulate people for bad reasons. Misinformation or other types of false information are not necessarily always backed with an ill intent.